We received multiple messages and questions on the videos we posted on TikTok and IG about the Poco X4 Pro 5G and Poco M4 Pro. I understand that these devices are highly requested, and I believe that a lot of you would want to get straight-up answers to questions we believe are important. Let's get started.
Well, hello there.
Alright, let's talk about the first one. What are the major design differences of the two devices? It is undeniable that both devices look the same, except for the size. While they look the same, the Poco X4 Pro 5G is bigger and heavier than the Poco M4 Pro. This is the most glaring difference between the two apart from price. Poco X4 Pro 5G has a wider build, which is suitable for those with bigger hands. I would not recommend this to those who literally have tight pockets and small hands, as it may be a little inconvenient to use. Poco M4 Pro, on the other hand, is probably the best one in terms of overall build, as it's perfect, no, regardless of how big or small your hands are. Alam niyo naman ako, malaki ang kamay ko, no? Pero hirap pa rin akong gamitin ang Poco X4 Pro 5G. However, it will be a different case if you're after overall performance. This brings us to the next question. Worth it ba ang jump ng performance ng Poco X4 Pro 5G versus the Poco M4 Pro? Yes, but not a lot. No, I managed to check this using several benchmarking platforms, and I can say that there is really a difference in performance. However, it is not something that you'll easily notice when playing games that do not require too much power. Don't get me wrong, guys, ha? Poco X4 Pro 5G is way more powerful and efficient thanks to its 6nm chipset, but if you're after a smartphone that you can use to play Mobile Legends or Pokemon Unite, the Poco M4 Pro is more than enough. Now, if you're after a smartphone that will allow you to play your favorite titles that need better specs, alam niyo na sagot doon. The Poco X4 Pro 5G is among the best in the mid-range segment. You won't have trouble playing Genshin Impact or Apex Legends Mobile with this device. Next, madalas ito tanong sa amin to, no? Is it practical to get a phone with 120Hz like the Poco X4 Pro 5G? Short answer is no. A display with high refresh rate does not guarantee high frame rate during, of course, gameplay. It all boils down to two things. Number one, processor, and number two, the game you're actually playing. While there is a growing list of games that support 120 FPS, it would require a beefy system to be able to reach this number. Actually, even this game, Dead Cells, a game that supports 120 FPS on Android, cannot reach such frame count on the Poco X4 Pro 5G. Fortunately, Poco X4 Pro 5G has the option to turn down the FPS to 60 if you want to save on battery. If you think that you're not going to be playing games that support 120 FPS often, you can stick with the Poco M4 Pro. Next question. Just how good is the camera of the Poco X4 Pro 5G compared to the Poco M4 Pro? My answer is a lot. If you take a look at the camera specs of both devices, it is obvious that the Poco X4 Pro 5G is better than the Poco M4 Pro in terms of main camera sensor. Poco X4 Pro 5G sports a 108MP camera compared to 64MP on the Poco M4 Pro. Here are some side-by-side photos that I took with both devices. While this video may not give justice to the quality of the photos, it is obvious that the ones I took with the Poco X4 Pro have better depth and detail. I seriously think that content creators will enjoy using the Poco X4 Pro 5G more than the Poco M4 Pro. If you're serious about taking photos or videos, get the Poco X4 Pro 5G. Okay, next question, guys. What are the camera features that are missing on the Poco M4 Pro? My answer here is not a lot, actually. You basically get all the shooting modes on the Poco M4 Pro except for long exposure and dual video, which you can easily do using third-party applications. If your basis for buying the Poco X4 Pro is because of the said features and not the quality of photos or videos for some weird reason, then stick with the Poco M4 Pro. Next question about battery. What is the maximum capacity and fast charging compatibility of both devices? You'll be surprised, no, that both devices have the same battery capacity, which is 5,000 milliamperes. However, they are different in terms of fast charging compatibility. On paper, Poco X4 Pro can be fully charged in 41 minutes, while the Poco M4 Pro can be juiced up in under an hour. Based on my experience, they are marginally at par in terms of charging. Surprisingly, battery performance is almost the same under the same circumstances. And I believe that this may have something to do with hardware and software optimization. Last question. How much are these devices? I believe that these devices are excellently priced. The Poco X4 Pro 5G's price range from $16,990 to $17,990, while the Poco M4 Pro sells for $12,990 to $13,990. Poco is known for pricing their devices very well and competitively, which, based on our experience, is very difficult to beat. Well, that's it for our video. I hope we straightforwardly covered the ones that you need to know about these smartphones. Poco is certainly not an advertiser of this video, but I can confidently say that these are highly recommended in its price point. If you're looking for a device below 18,000 pesos, you may want to include these devices in your options. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, I would totally recommend that you click the subscribe button and notification bell to keep tab on our new videos. This has been Gian, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye!